All right, guys. Good to see everyone today. We're doing Dog Talk episode 2. The name of this episode is Love and Loyalty. So we're going to talk about love and loyalty, between you and your pet. We're going to talk about a few different things. We got a couple of points we want to make. We're going to talk about a few different things. And of course, you guys can chime in as you please. I'm Antuan, Carlisle. I'm the chief consultant here at Canine Care Consultants. We tried to do something a little bit different with the lighting, so it's not like shining off my head. We also had a suggestion about our banner. We're going to get us a banner printed. It's going to be printed backwards, so you guys will be able to read it. Like I said, I'm Antuan Carlisle. This is one of our Con cubs. He's a little male puppy off of Shere Con. He don't have a name yet, but he's just going to hang out with us during this episode. Like I said, we're going to talk about love and loyalty. A lot of people think, that them and their dog have a great relationship where they both understand that they love each other. A lot of times I tell clients, dogs view love a little bit differently than the way we view love. Some dogs see a lot of the signs that you give them as love as kind of like foolishness. Because a lot of times they don't understand, why you do the things that you do. We sometimes think that love is a lot of petting and a lot of baby talk and a lot of treats and toys and blankets and, what we call spoiling. And, the word spoiling it's never had a good connotation. In no area of life is the word spoiling a good thing, except with your dog. A lot of times we think that it's a good thing. We all know that a spoiled child isn't good. A spoiled puppy, in my opinion, isn't good either. All you're going to do is cause a dog to be aggressive, dominant, and essentially a problem in the future by spoiling him. So, the word spoiling doesn't mean good, anything good with milk, cheese, any type of food. Spoil means to spoil something rotten, and we all know rotten isn't good. So what we try to teach our clients is that you don't want to try to spoil your dog. It's not perceived as love from your dog at all. When a person, wants to love their dog, the best thing to do is give them discipline, give them structure, give them boundaries, give them rules. That's the way that a dog receives love. He knows that when you don't correct him for what he knows is wrong, and that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. A dog knows the things that they should and shouldn't do to someone that they see as alpha. So when they're doing something that they know is not good and you're still petting them and praising them and loving on them, then all you're doing is ruining the dog and you're reinforcing bad behavior. So when you want to really show love to a dog, you want to give him boundaries, give him rules, give him structure, discipline, that kind of thing. If a dog doesn't see you do those things, he's pretty sure you don't love him. And a lot of times the dogs don't love you either. A lot of times the clients, they cringe when they hear that. A lot of them don't want to believe that their dog doesn't love them. But in the average pet home, the dog really doesn't love the dog owner, unfortunately. A lot of times that dog only sees you as a chef and a chauffeur. And a lot of times, the client doesn't want to hear that. But at the end of the day, that's really the truth of the matter. The dog sees you as a chef and a chauffeur. He doesn't see you as an authority figure. He doesn't see you as a place of love, per se. A lot of times he sees you as his equal and, basically a roommate. And that's not the type of relationship you want to establish with an animal. That animal does need to see you as alpha. He does need to see you as, an authority figure. He needs to see you as someone that's going to protect him, provide for him, and keep him, So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about today. One of my first points that I wanted to cover is there real love between you and your dog? That's a good question to ask yourself. Is there real love? How do we describe love? Is love something where we put our feet on you? Is love something where we chew up your shoes? Tear up chew up your end table? Tear up the pillows on your couch. Is that love? Do you think he loves you when he does that? What about when he knocks over your plate or eats out of your plate or eats off your counter? Is that a good definition of love? Good question to ask yourself. And vice versa, if that dog or if you see that dog do something that he shouldn't and you don't correct it appropriately, do you love him? When you know the right thing to do, but you allow the dog to do otherwise because you think he's cute, is that love? So it's just like with your kid. If you see your kid doing something that's going to harm him or be dangerous to him or harm someone else, are you going to correct it? Or are you going to just say, oh, he's just being a kid, or they're just being boys, or isn't she just so cute? She's so sassy and she's got her hand on her hip. How cute is that going to be when she gets an adult? When she becomes an adult, how cute is it going to be then? It's not going to be very cute, and nobody in the world is going to think it's cute. So the same thing goes for when that dog is jumping on people. He's jumping on you. He's jumping on your guests when they come over. Everybody don't like that. I know I don't. I'm gonna get your dog off me. If you don't get him off me, I'm gonna get him off me. You see what I'm saying? Because see, a lot of people don't know, when that dog jumps up on you, that's not how dogs greet people. That's not how they greet people. They don't give hugs and all that kind of stuff. He's doing a statement of dominance. He's putting his feet on you. If I put my feet on you, you're not gonna like it. There'll be a serious altercation if I put my feet on you. And it means the same thing with a dog. When you see dogs putting their feet on each other, they're showing statements of dominance. They're trying to establish who's going to be the alpha. So when that dog jumps up on you, he's trying to see what your response is going to be. He's trying to see, is this an alpha? Or are they going to embrace, we're not going to let him chew on my thumb. That ain't cute. It's not cute because he's a puppy. It's not cute because he's a puppy. He needs to understand that we don't do that. Because if he's biting me now, and it's wrong, right? If he's biting you when he's an adult, it's going to be wrong. It needs to be wrong now. Don't let him be allowed to think that chewing on you, on your fingers, is cute. Because when he turns 9 months old and his teeth are a lot bigger, it's not going to be so cute. So you're going to appear to be bipolar to that dog. He's not going to understand why something was wrong today, but it's going to be or right today, but it's going to be wrong tomorrow. Not going to make sense at all. So, back to what I was saying about real love. You got to first establish and understand what love is in the first place. You got to understand what love is in the first place. And then once you establish that and you get an understanding of what love is, then you know how to apply it to your dog. So see, just like this puppy, as long as he's being calm and submissive, he can get all the petting he wants. But as soon as he gives me an undesirable behavior, we cut all that off and we're going to correct it on the spot. And if you correct effectively, timely and effectively, you should eliminate the behavior. Now, as of right now, he's not biting on my finger anymore. That's good. And if he does, we're going to go right back to correcting. All right. One other thing that we talked about is, what is love towards alpha? What exactly is love towards alpha? What does it look like? We could take a look at National Geographic and we look at the love that is shown towards alpha. When alpha asks something of the pack, they do it. There's no hesitation. He don't have to ask them, several times. He doesn't have to keep repeating himself. He just says what he wants and he gets what he wants. That's what love looks like to alpha. When you call your dog, that dog should, when you call your dog, that dog should come. You shouldn't have to say, come Fido, come Fido, come Fido, come Fido, come Fido. Does he see you as alpha? When I call my dogs, whatever they doing, they stop and they come. Just like that. Whether it be a female in heat, or a squirrel running across the yard, or his favorite toy, or he's eating or drinking, whatever he's doing, it stops immediately and he comes to me. That's how I know he loves me. That's how I know he sees me as alpha. When you got to ask your dog or your child repeatedly over and over and over to do something, you better check what you are to that child or that dog. You better check the position that you hold with that dog. You better check, where you are on the totem pole and where they are on the totem pole. Even in the Bible, the Bible says that, God said that it's those that know my commandments and keep my commandments. It is those that love me. And I know we hear everybody say, I love the Lord and the Lord knows my heart and all this other stuff. But according to the Bible, it's those that know my commandments and keep my commandments is those that love me. So, back to the dog. If he don't do nothing, you tell him. And you got to repeat everything over and over. And he tearing up all your stuff. He don't love you. And don't get, him enjoying you, petting him, mistaken for him loving you. He like what you got. He like what you got. Should love be conditional? That's another point we wanted to cover. So often in relationships, the love is conditional. I'll love you if you do this. Or if you do that, I'll continue to love you. Or if you continue to do this, I'll stick around. Is that love? Brings us to the point of why we don't use treats during training. We don't use treats at all. Absolutely not. Not for training. No. I don't want that dog working for me for what I got. Because what happens when you run out of treats? You run out of training. Just like any relationship. If your spouse is with you for diamond rings and fancy things, as soon as you run out of diamond rings and fancy things, somebody gonna come up with a reason to divorce you. That's just the reality of the situation. So we don't even bring anything into the factor. We don't bring any factors into the situation that don't need to be. And not to mention, we just model nature. Alpha in the wild is not walking around with a treat bag on his hip. That head lion or that head wolf, that pack leader, he's not walking around with a pack of treats on his hip. No. He better have a whole bunch of packs of treats if it was modeled like that. Because he got a whole lot of people following him and depending on him. So if he had to treat everybody for doing what he asked them to do, he's gonna have to have a grocery cart behind him. So we don't do anything like that. And this ain't my technique. This ain't something I came up with. This is how dogs learn. This is how it happens in the wild. So why would we come up with our own method when it's already a method in place? We teach dogs the way they learn in the wild. You see what I'm saying? We allow them to learn the way they're already naturally wired to learn. They're wired to work for what they get. And what do we teach them as soon as we get them? We'll give you everything you want. Just sit there and look cute. We'll get you all the treats and water bottles and toys and all that. It don't make no sense to the dog. A lot of people don't realize that. That don't make no sense to that dog. He don't understand why you giving him all these things that, one, he ain't asked for, and two, he don't need. We see our dog panting, and we say, oh, he's hot, he's thirsty. Most of the time, if your dog panting, it ain't because he's hot or thirsty. He probably got a lot of pressure on him. Or he's probably being resistant when he know he shouldn't be to your authority. So when that dog has a lot of pressure on him, probably because of you and all your treats and baby talk and all that, he's going to pant a lot. That's a sign of That's a sign of pressure. If you've tried to establish authority and your dog decides in his own mind that he's going to be resistant towards you, right? So let's say you've made it a communication to your dog's instincts. Because by the way, when we communicate with a dog, it's always with the dog's instincts. We're never communicating with the dog up here. When you communicate with a dog up here, you leave him a choice. Either he's going to do what you say do or not do what you say do. Depends on if he feel like it. Or depends on if the treat is good enough. You see? So that's why we don't do communication with Fido. We're going to communicate with Fido's instincts. Because see, once I convince Fido's instincts that I'm alpha, Fido up here won't be a problem. So when I tell Fido to sit, and Fido up here says, man, I ain't studying him. I ain't sitting. I don't want to sit. Then his instincts immediately start working on him and say, you probably better sit. That's alpha. You probably need to sit down. So that's the benefit of training the way we train. Because see, the way we train, it sets it up to where his instinct will work in your favor. His instinct will begin to work for you. So whenever Fido decides he ain't going to do what you say do, some on the inside of him, that made me go to church, some on the inside of him will say, hey, you probably better do what he say do. So that's why we don't communicate with Fido up here. We communicate with that dog's instincts. So back to what we were saying. When I say sit and Fido says, I ain't studying him, I ain't finna sit, I don't feel like sitting, he ain't got no treat, I'm not going to do it. Then his instinct said, you finna sit. You better sit, sir, right? Then Fido says, no, I'm not. That causes an inner battle. An inner battle causes pressure, and pressure causes panting. So a lot of time when your dog panting, there's something going on inside him. Somebody ain't in agreement with somebody. So that's why you want to get clarity. You want to make sure you establish authority. That way everybody's on one accord. You eliminate pressure. You eliminate peeing. You know, the nervous pee. You eliminate all that panting and stress and all that kind of stuff. And all of that comes along with stabilization. If you have an unstable dog, you're going to have a dog that's always whining, barking, panting, peeing, all that. All those are signs of instability and a lack of submission to authority. So you want to eliminate those things. I see some people are typing some comments, asking some questions. We're going to come right back to those. Y'all hold me to that. All right. So, should love be conditional? Should your dog do something for you if he feel like it? Should he submit to your authority when you got something good for him, like a treat or a toy? Should he only love you when it benefits him? No, it's not like that in the wild. You know, can you have a relationship like that with your dog? Sure. I don't want no relationship like that because I ain't got time to adhere to his conditions. No, you know, in the wild, when Alpha says something, that's it. That's the end of it. It's a done deal. Whether they feel like it, you know, whether they like him that day, you know, whether they're up to it, none of that matters. When Alpha says something, just like that, the whole pack does what he says do. And to me, that's a better relationship to me. It's not a relationship of a dictatorship. You don't have to be some kind of dictator. You don't have to be King Kong walking around beating your chest. It's just how they view you. It's their perception of you that's important. And it gets them to perform the way you want them to perform. Are you operating in authority or bribery? I choose authority. Authority is foolproof. Foolproof. Bribery, it's going to have some holes in it. It's going to have some holes in it for sure. Because nothing's funnier than a trainer telling you to bring your dog hungry for the training session. Bring him hungry? So he's got to be hungry and want something I got to get him to work? No, we're not doing that. No. We can't do that. We're not using bribery. I'm not going to bribe my dog to sit or come or down or stay or any of that stuff. You don't have to. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. Excuse me, y'all. I want to give honor to God. I forgot that. That's very important. Very important to my show. Anything that I do, that I give him glory. So I thank God right now for everything that I'm about to say that may help someone and everything that I'm about to say that may help me. Back to what I was saying. So, you don't want to use bribery. You don't want to use treats. You don't want to use, you know, the squealing baby talk and all that. You simply ask the dog to do something and he does it. Now, if you guys notice, this dog hadn't bit my finger since because I timely and effectively corrected him. I let him know how I felt about it. If you don't let your dog know, and see, I'm going to put it in front of him. And see, he's avoiding it. He's not even licking it. Because I established something with him just then. That happened for you live action. I established with him that that's unacceptable. So it's not happening anymore. And if it does, I'll just correct again. But it looks like the one I gave was effective. So, next thing. So the question is it real? Is it loyalty? If it is loyalty, is it loyalty to you? So, y'all, excuse me, it's a little toasty up under these lights. I'm trying to give y'all some better lighting. So, is it loyalty? Is your dog loyal to you? When you take him to the PetSmart or dog park, he was all loyal to you before y'all got in that gate. You know, when I take my dog, which Lord forbid, I don't recommend dog parks, by the way. I'll tell you why later. When you go to that dog park or PetSmart, does your dog completely abandon you when he sees somebody else? Or when he sees another dog? Perhaps he thinks that other person has a better treat for him than you. Is he really loyal? One thing came up a few months ago. I had a client, well, at the time when it happened, when the incident happened, they weren't a client of mine. But they brought a situation to me. They were telling me about an instance where the dog at question that they were bringing to possibly train with us said the dog bit him, like really attacked him, like really bit him. And she didn't understand why. Apparently there was something going on, an altercation with another dog or something, and the dog bit him in the process of them breaking it up, I guess. And they couldn't understand for the life of them why their dog had never shown any aggression towards them. They didn't understand why that dog literally just bit them, like, you know. And they tried to reason with themselves, saying that maybe it was an accident, you know, maybe he was trying to bite the other dog, when obviously it was clear that he wasn't blindfolded. He bit you. You know, he bit you because he felt like you were coming in between something he wanted to do, you know, and him. So there was nothing inside of him, no word from the instinct to say, hey, don't bite her. That's alpha. Because she's not alpha. So there's nothing on the inside of him. No, his instincts aren't working in her favor. His instincts are working in his favor. Always remember, the instincts are going to support whoever's alpha, whether it's you or whether that dog is his own alpha. So if you were alpha, right, and your hand came between his upper jaw and lower jaw, some on the inside gonna say, don't do that. But nothing stopped that. And that shows how he sees you. He thought biting that other dog was more important than you. And she couldn't figure out, you know, I thought he was my friend. I thought he loved me. I thought he was loyal to me. What I try to explain to people, if you're not alpha, that dog's loyalty is to himself. Even though it looks like, you know, he enjoys your presence, he enjoys being around you, he's glad you're around, and even though he's glad you're around and all that good stuff, when the pressure's turned up, you will find out. You will find out if he's loyal to you. You got to keep in mind, when you're not alpha, you are still feeding that dog. You're clothing that dog if you buy him clothes. You're housing that dog. You're showing affection to that dog. You're doing all these things, and he didn't have to earn any of it. Right? So yeah, you're going to see him happy. Yeah, you're going to see him glad when he sees you coming. I mean, come on. I'm glad when I see the taco truck coming. That don't mean I'm loyal to him. I'm loyal to my stomach. So a lot of times our dogs are loyal to their stomachs. They're loyal to getting petted and treated and rolled around in the truck, you know. And they say, you know, like the old folks used to say, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah, you do. Why not? Especially if they're going to still feed you anyway. She was still willing to keep that dog and love that dog and all that good stuff, which that's fine with proper training. But she wasn't even concerned with training. She was convinced that it was an accident. Your hand right here. I can't open my mouth and close it on your hand on accident. Your hand didn't look like a dog. That dog clearly sees that dog over there. And he sees you in between him and what he want to get to. And I tell a lot of people, you know, some of the evaluations I do and some of the people that bring their dogs, I tell them, that's a time bomb waiting to happen. You holding, on the end of that leash, you're holding the perfect storm. He's just waiting on the right thing to line up and he's going to bite you. I start by saying, he's biting the leash right now. If he'll bite the leash, he'll bite you. Sorry. He don't know where you begin and where you end and that leash begins. You know, obviously he knows at the leash, but at the same time, you know, he's not going to discriminate. If you take that leash off and grab that collar, that'll be your hand he biting. A dog shouldn't bite you or nothing attached to you. Just like another thing I tell my clients, when a dog sees you as alpha, right? He's not gonna bother you or nothing that belong to you. Not your kids, not your 6-inch high heels, you know, not your favorite remote to your favorite stereo, none of that stuff. If a dog sees you as alpha, he's not gonna do none of that stuff. Not gonna bother your stuff. You know, I don't recommend it to anybody, but I can leave my kids around any of my dogs, unsupervised. Why? One, because I have an amazing communication with my dogs, where they understand, those children are mine. You don't bother nothing that belongs to me. Nothing that belongs to me do you bother. So they understand that, and that's not something I have to remind them about. You know, they have a good understanding about what belongs to me. And they understand the consequences of what would happen if they did something to somebody of mine. But it don't cross their mind when they see you as alpha. Never cross their mind. So one other thing I wanted to talk about as well concerning that. That dog understands when you're alpha that his job is automatically to protect you. We talk a lot about protection dogs and, you know, how loyal the dog should be to you. And, excuse me, y'all, I'm burning up. They talk about how loyal the dog should be to you and the household and that kind of thing. And they say, you know, well, I had this pit bull and, you know, somebody broke in my house and, man, you would think that the dog was helping him take stuff out the house. He didn't bark, he didn't do nothing, da-da-da. And I say to myself and to them, for what? It ain't his stuff. You ain't important to him till dinner time. You're not alpha. So why would he put his life on the line and defend your honor and all that? Man, don't even do all that. For what? Why would he do all that? He don't work for you. Right? Now, on the other side, my French bulldog, he right there laying down snoring, y'all probably hear him. He's a little bitty guy. Never had obedience, never had, you know, personal protection, none of that. Premises protection, none of that. But I promise you, friendliest thing in the world, right? You can come in, you know, with my permission and with me acknowledging to him that you're a friend, not an enemy. You could pet him, love on him, everything. But I promise you, if you look like you're giving me any kind of problem, if you start talking to me loud, hey, what's up, man, all that crazy stuff like we do, he gonna tear you up. Tear you up. I promise you. You're gonna have to pry him off your chest. Why? Because he sees me as alpha. So when a dog sees you as alpha, that's something automatic. We protect the pack leader. Now, this pit bull that was in this house, you probably just a chef and a chauffeur. So he has no reason to defend your honor. Right? He has no reason to put his life on the line to protect you. He's not gonna do it. It's actually kind of humorous that, you know, but you know, that's some of the misconception that we have about dogs, that the dogs are just gonna automatically, you know, do all this crazy stuff. It needs to be trained. And the only time, for the most part, that it's gonna be natural is if one, that's a dog that's bred for that, and it's probably genetically, you know, protective over property. And even then, he ain't protecting you. He protecting something that he thinks belongs to him. Back to my first point. It ain't about you, it's about him. When you establish authority and become alpha, then it'll probably be about you. But right now, it ain't about you. So all that stuff that was taken out of that house, that dog said, as long as you don't take the dog food, boss. Don't take the dog food, and don't take the fella that make my plate. You can have everything else. One other point we wanted to cover. It says, can you depend on your animal the way they can depend on you? Can you depend on your animal the way they depend on you? That's a really important thing to talk about. when you are establishing yourself as alpha and you want that type of relationship, and a lot of people, they don't care to have this type of relationship. They want their dog to feel like it's their family member, which that's cool. But they don't want to accept the fact that the dog is a dog. And he's going to have dog tendencies, and he's going to do things like dogs do. He's going to learn like dogs learn. He's going to receive love like dogs receive love. You know, so they want to try to humanize that dog. And you just run into his beck and call, whatever you need, whatever you need. But then when you have a need of him to sit or to stay or any, he don't do it. Sounds like there's no balance there. He can depend on you for everything. I had one client who ain't gonna say no names, and I just hope she ain't even watching this. But she says she stops what she's doing at 5 p.m. every single day, no matter where she is or what she's doing, and she goes home and feeds her dog at 5 o'clock. Why? Why? Is he gonna die between 5 and 6? I don't get it. Maybe y'all can help me understand that. That dog can depend on her faithfully, but she can't get him to do nothing. Nothing. He jumps on her. He pulls her down the road on a leash. He runs all over the car and knocks the truck out of gear and stuff like that. No respect at all. No reverence. No honor. No love. No nothing. There's no balance. There's got to be balance. And in my line of work and the way we teach it out there, that dog work for you. Yeah, he's your family. Yeah, you love him. Yeah, you'll do anything for him. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're going to do that. But there has to be some... The Bible says everything needs to be done decent and in order. That's out of order. That's out of order. That dog does anything and everything he wants to, when he wants to, if he feel like it. And will bite you if he feel like it. But you stop what you're doing and go feed him at 5 o'clock. It shouldn't be a relationship where that dog can depend on you and you can't depend on him. You got to have priorities, and they got to be set in order. When you come home, that dog shouldn't be the first thing you run to when you come home. You shouldn't bypass the husband and the kids to get to the dog and at the cage. Don't you know that dog see that? That dog sees that he's more important than everybody in the house. Don't you know he gonna play you against them? And some people say, well, dogs don't think. Yeah, they do. They do think like that. You know, there's got to be levels. There's got to be a totem pole, hierarchy. You know, the dog, you can't let that, even if you love that dog to death, you can't let that dog know that you love him like that. Because he gonna know you got you wrapped around his finger. And you'll never get him to work for you. You'll never get him to sit when you say sit. You'll never get him to down when you say down. You'll never get him to come when you say come. Not on the first try. Not without a bag of treats. Right? Employers, you can't let your employee know that you need him as bad as you need him. Because if you do that, he's going to come back from break when he get ready. Right? He's going to come to work when he get ready. You see what I'm saying? When you're authority, you can't. No. Got to have balance. Got to have balance. Right? That dog needs to need you. And he can't never get a chance to need you if you give him everything. Everything. Quick, fast, and hurry. As soon as he say, get here, here you come with the treat bag. He ain't gonna never need you like that. You'll never get him to work for you. All right, little buddy, you better sit down. We're recording live. You better not. You know I don't do that. I don't do that licky stuff. I don't do that licky stuff. Are you gonna do it? Sounds like I made a communication. You gonna do it? No licky in alpha face. We'll talk about that. That's a whole nother show, y'all. Some of y'all like that. Y'all like all that tongue kissing and stuff. That means something. Because dogs don't kiss. A lot of y'all don't know that. Dogs don't kiss. So when he licking you and all in your face, that means something. We'll talk about that later. That's gonna spark up a real good argument. Y'all might cuss me out about that one. I'm just playing. Ain't nobody gonna cuss me out on here. But anyway, we're gonna go to the next point. I'm getting ready to wrap up, y'all. So we talked about balancing the relationships, but you definitely want to have balance in the relationship. Your relationship with your dog should not consist of lovey-dovey all the time. Unless that dog's perspective of you is alpha, is authority, and he does nothing but respect and honor you and please you and do what he needs to do to serve you. Then yeah, it can be lovey-dovey all you want to, but most of the time that ain't the case. So there's got to be balance where you praising what you want and you correcting what you don't want, and you loving on him at times, and then you shut it off at times, and he be okay with it. He doesn't paw you and force you to keep petting him. And that stuff ain't cute, y'all. Because what you see, that right there don't seem like a big deal. But it does seem like a big deal when he destroys your screen door because he got a dog out there that he want to go kill. Or somebody's cat he want to go kill. Or somebody's little kid that he wants to get out there and terrorize because they riding that bike and he don't like spinning things. You got me? So you don't want to teach you get what you want when you want it. All you got to do is paw at me and lick me and I'll give you what you want. You don't want to teach that because it's going to cause a real big problem on the other side of the spectrum. You got me? Your dog should wait on you at all times. At all times, he should wait on you for what you got. Whole nother episode. I want to thank everybody that showed up, for the show. Everybody that's tuned in and think I might possibly have something to say that may help you. I just thank you guys for following me and supporting me so far. I'm just glad you guys came. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back, scroll up, and see some of the questions that have been asked, and we're gonna address those things. And I tell everybody, you guys, y'all give us a bark anytime. All phone consultations free. We welcome you guys to come, bring your dogs, let us evaluate them, and see if what we can do to help you guys. If you have any kind of situations in the home where you could use some professional help, well, here we are. Y'all can give us a bark at 205-718-9738. So let's scroll up. I'm trying to do this without knocking my phone over. See if we got some questions that need answering. And you guys can take this time to add a few questions if you'd like, and we'll try to address those. Some we may save for the next episode, and some we may answer here on the spot. Hey, Missy Gail. Good to see you guys here. Yeah, he is a sweet boy. He's actually available. He's a Con cub. He's off of Shere Con. He's a lilac brindle male, and he is available. If anybody's interested in him, y'all feel free to inbox us or call us, and maybe you guys will be his new forever home. Stop pawing my keyboard, boy. Terrence Jones, what you doing? He said, tell me something I don't know. He's a professional dog groomer, and I mean the real deal, like Westminster style dog grooming. Y'all need some grooming, y'all let me know. I can get y'all hooked up with Mr. Jones. It says, what to do with a Frenchie that is object possessive? We are scared with the new grandbabies in the house. He has nipped my grandson for a balloon. Needs to be authority established. And a lot of times with little small dogs, we don't correct much because they're cute, and them jumping on us doesn't appear to be that big of a deal. But if he was an 80-pound, pit bull or something, it'd be a huge deal. And you'd be mad and correcting it. So we can't allow bad behavior to go on. It don't matter how big or small the dog is. Excuse me, because to the dog it means the same thing. That Frenchie jumping on you and that pit bull jumping on you, it means the same thing to the dog. Now, why we respond to it differently, I don't know. But it seems like there needs to be some authority established. That's called resource guarding. He's doing resource guarding. He's wanting to protect what he feels is his, even though it ain't his. But when your dog thinks that he's his own alpha, and probably the alpha over the whole house, right? Which is why we don't recommend free reign of the house. For the dog just be loose in the house, because in doing that, you tell the dog that it's his house, and what do you do in your house? Whatever you want to do. So whatever he wants to do, he's going to do it for the most part, including Play with the balloon. So, and protect it with his life if he feels like it. So, you've got to establish some authority. You guys can feel free to give us a bark as well. And we can definitely discuss that in depth and teach you how to regain that position of authority, how to strip him from the throne that we have somehow put him on. You know, we'd be glad to help you guys. It's a simple fix. It's a simple fix, but I won't say it's necessarily an easy fix. Depends on how long he's been on the throne. So y'all give us a call, and we'll definitely assist you guys with that Frenchie. And that's for Miss Kim. Let's see. What's up, Scott? OG Scott. Mr. Acosta. Danny Kane. Mr. John. Mr. James. On what I did, y'all. Uh-oh, I turned my camera around. Y'all thought I cut this video off. As long as I ain't cut the video off, we good. All right, let's see. Mr. James Riddick. All right, let's see. We're almost to the bottom, y'all. Mr. Tony. That's my little brother, y'all, in Silicaga. Carrie Taylor, my favorite. What's going on, Carrie? James. Shannon Davis. Shannon Davis is one of our supporters out in Auburn. Her and her husband are great supporters, been supporters of us for years, sponsors as well. So we definitely want to shout them out. They're really, really great people. Eddie Salas, my man, got some of the baddest bulldogs around. Miss Sheila up in North Alabama. We love you guys. Jared, what's going on, man? Down in Mobile. Saucy Q's Barbecue. That's where you want to go when you're in Mobile. See my boy Jared. And you already know who the baddest tattoo artist around here. Jeff Sketch Brownie. Tattoo Jungle in Calera. Antuan said put the questions in here. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, y'all can put those questions on here. All right, Mr. Taylor. Miss Campbell. Good to see you here. Miss Latoya Bonner. Yeah, that taco truck of food, y'all. Y'all better check out your local taco truck. All right, Terrence, I'll see you in a little while. Cedric McLean, man, you got some bad boys down there. Awesome bulldogs. Charles Varner, my brother. All right, y'all, what a question that it said. Pets are jealous and want all the attention. Yeah, pets can be jealous and they can want all the attention. But watch this. That's wrong. That's unacceptable. Let me tell you something. My son and my daughter better not never be fighting about nothing. They better not never be fighting because they jealous of nothing. That's totally out of order. They're both getting toys. They both eating. They both drinking. They both got somewhere to stay. Y'all ain't got no reason to get to fighting. Y'all ain't got no reason to be jealous about nothing. That's unacceptable. We don't allow that. And a real alpha wouldn't allow that either. You got me? There shouldn't be no such thing as sibling rivalry in dogs or humans. Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody should have corrected that when it was this big. Because now it's this big and we got sick brothers and sisters in therapy because they hate their brother or their sister. That means the alpha dropped the ball. Correct that off the top. And I don't mean, Rose, Fido, don't do that. No, cut that out right now. Stop instantly. Problem. Because we get to fight, all of us going to be fighting. We don't do that because that can turn real bad real fast, y'all. You have to take that sibling rivalry and jealousy stuff seriously because it gets serious. Carrie, get off here talking about your dogs love tacos. Oh my goodness. Your dog can get a taco if you want to feed him a taco. What does it mean when the dog licks your face? Toya, I don't want to go there in this episode. We need to talk about that later. I know a bunch of y'all want to know that, but it's my time up. My time up. So I got to be respectful of people's time. But we can talk about that next time. Y'all remind me. We're going to talk about what the dog licking you means. It ain't kisses. It ain't affection. That ain't what it means to no dog. Y'all look it up. Now don't, no, that's all right. Because Google is just a bunch of folks like y'all that don't know what they don't just kidding. Don't trust Google. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up right there, you guys. Any other questions that we see, we'll talk about them next show. We thank you guys for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all don't know how much it means. And this little Canine cub right here says, come get me. We'll see y'all later, man. Y'all be blessed. And this is Dog Talk.